Hi, Arnold. Sorry, I think you're muted.
My bad. Sorry. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. And I hope wherever you're joining us from, you are warm and safe. I see Zahir, who is our co-presenter today. You look warm, so nice to be in Durban. It's nice to be in Durban because you really look warm there, of which hey, we're battling here. Cold. So welcome everyone. We're gonna start now. We're just accepting people. Let me also just share my screen and we're gonna start now. Yeah, here we go. Just put it on the presentation mode. All right. So while we're accepting people, please introduce yourself on chat, and again, it's for networking purposes as well, and also to know where you're joining us from. If it's your first time joining our webinar, welcome. It's good to have you. My name is Arnold Nechambidi. I'm the founder and executive director for Pambano Technology Development Center. We are a registered nonprofit organization based here in Johannesburg, and I'll share more about our organization. So today's session, of course, is to know everything you need before the deadline, the 30th May deadline, which Zahir will take us through. So again, Zahir is from ActiveDonor. So this is the layout of our today's session. This is what we're going to cover today. So the first part will focus on the laying the groundwork, issuing your Section 18As, submitting to the Revenue Service, and of course we'll take questions. But again, you can post your questions on chat or Q&A so that then we don't miss your questions as well. So we who we are, as I said, Pambano Technology Development Center, we're a registered nonprofit organization. We exist to strengthen and empower your organizations across here in Southern Africa by building their digital, technological, and organizational capacity. Again, just so that you can focus on advancing your mission. So we support organizations throughout here in Southern Africa. And our goal is to provide digital capacity to organizations, digital safety and resilience, AI and emerging technology for social good, and of course, ICT solutions for civil society. I really like this this comment by Zetu in terms of Zetu Lubisi on AI won't take jobs, but skills gaps will. If you join our webinar last week, you're probably now familiar with this quote from Zetu when she made it at the IT Web conference. And saying this because in order for us, as organizations or employees within the NPO sector, we also need to learn digital skills and AI. So Microsoft Elevate launched the Civic AI platform where we can then get we can learn digital skills and AI, and of course just again what is artificial intelligence. So there are 3 learning pathways that you can start learning, starting from the foundational skills, where it starts with the basics in terms of the AI history, what is artificial intelligence, generative AI, and all that. So it starts with the basics, and then of course you start elevating upwards. So all this is a free platform where you can learn a skill and also get certified as well. So when you start learning the modules, you can also get badges. And then when you when you're done that learning pathway, then you get certified. So again, to sign up, if you're not familiar with the platform, you go to civicai.co.za, you select get started, you click sign in, and then under sign in, this is where then you can click sign up now. And then you start, of course, the certificate will need to come with your name and your surname. So you can then put in your name, your surname, and all your details there. And thereafter, if you get stuck, you can contact us. We'll be happy to assist you, and my colleagues will share the Civic AI link if not yet. I know that they're very good, in terms of supporting when I'm making presentation. So if really you get stuck in signing up here, let us know. And as I said, this is a free learning platform which is beneficial to everyone, and especially for us who are working within the sector. We now, we learn a skill, improving on our knowledge, and also we will get certified directly through the platform. And if you're not familiar, with the TechSoup. So last year, TechSoup had terminated our contract, but as of May this year, we've been now managing the TechSoup platform, where you access the technology donations and discounts through the different technology partners that we have here. So any of the technology partners here, you are able to get an NPO discount through their software platforms. So if you're not yet registered, please register on the TechSoup South Africa platform, because then you're able to benefit on different technology software from all these companies. I know Avis is not a technology company; it's a car rental company. So the benefit that you get from Avis, so when you rent a car, either for personal use or for organizational use, you get a discount. But discounts differs. It could be, 50% discount, 30% discount, 20% discount, and sometimes 10% discount. So it differs. But that discount as well will go a long way, when you make your booking, because if you're booking for yourself, you do, getting that discount, at least you're not paying the full price. And by the way, you get unlimited mileage, from AV. So meaning I can drive from here to Cape Town without any worry in terms of how many kilometers have I incurred on the day, and it comes with insurance and so on. So all these other technology partners, then in some of this or more on in all of this besides Avis, you now then start getting the software applications that you can use in your daily activities in your office. So all these technology companies here, you will be able to get some form of discount. And if you're not yet registered on the TechSoup platform, you can go to techsoupsouthafrica.org /user/register, and then you start registering, or just go to say techsoupsouthafrica.org, and then you start signing up. If you're not yet registered, you click sign up, validate your email account, and then register your organization profile. Again, if you get stuck, please contact us and we'll be able to assist you. And again, you can just send us an email, techsoap@pambano.org.za, or info@pambano.org.za, and we'll be able to support you again to confirm your eligibility, that indeed you are a registered non-profit organization or non-profit. You're registered with the CIPC, the Companies and Intellectual Property Commission. Then, of course, we're going to need your NPC certificate. If you're registered with the South African Revenue Service and you are tax exempt, and you have the PVO letter, then we're going to need that letter. If you're also a registered trust, we're going to need the trustees documentations from the Master of the High Court. So simple and easy, then you will be able to support you. So again, as I said, today we're going to focus more on the submissions, which on my side, I'm going to hand it over to Zahir and Raisa, who will be doing a proper demo and showcasing how you can support your organization. So again, if you do need to contact us for any of our services, you can send an email, info@pambano.org.za, and so on. But we are still here, but I'm just going to hand it over to Zahir now, so that Zahir can can present from your side. So Zahir, over to you.
Good morning, Arnold. Thank you for the introductions. Congratulations on being back on TechSoup. So I'm
Thank you.
hoping to see our logo there as well.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to everyone. Thank you, Arnold, for the introduction. So ActiveDonor is a donor management platform. I'm going to share my slides. Give me a moment. There we go. Is that good?
Yes, we can see
Okay,
laying the
perfect.
groundwork. So yes, you can.
Perfect. So,
You can
so
proceed.
ActiveDonor is a donor management platform. We've been doing this since 2017, and we have over 300 nonprofits. In 2024, we started doing the IT3D submissions, and today's webinar is focused on the IT3D process. Quick note before we start, I just recognize that there's a lot of ActiveDonor users on the webinar this morning, and I know there's also plenty of people that aren't using ActiveDonor. So welcome to everyone. We've put this webinar together so that everyone can walk away with something useful this morning. So to get started, we've segmented this into 3 different acts. Number 1 is laying the groundwork, which is getting your data ready, issuing your SARS compliant Section 18A certificates, and then submitting that to SARS. So Act 1 is very, very important. This is where most submissions will fail before they even start. If you have bad data, then nothing works after that. Right? Now, this is a recent letter that some PBOs received recently from SARS. SARS is reviewing their PBO and Section 18A status, and they've identified non-compliance. As you can see, they have exactly 21 business days to respond. This is what enforcement looks like in 2026. And if I zoom in, you will see one of the key reasons that they've identified here is the failure to submit IT3D for the periods 2024, 25, etc. And the result of this is SARS will withdraw exemption from the start of 2026 year of assessment. Once your exemption is gone, your PBO exemption is gone, you become a normal taxpayer. No more tax deductible receipts, and your donors obviously can't benefit from the Section 18A tax deductions. This is what we're helping you to avoid. Right? Just a quick recap of what we covered in our February webinar. The new SARS regulations that came into effect on the 1st of March 2026. Your tax number is now mandatory on every Section 18A. Previously, they said if available. And then also goods in kind, you are required to include a description and the deemed deduction amount of the goods. So most nonprofits do have the basics in place. They have their donors' details. They might have email, phone, donation amount, sometimes even an ID number, and it's sitting on an Excel document. And what's now required is full details of your donor, their contact details, email, phone, tax number, if it's a company, their company registration number, their ID number. And what we've seen is this is where the challenge lies. Most donors have not provided you with their complete details, or if they do have their details, then there may be some invalid information in there. Right? So let's see how we can fix this. So for anyone not using ActiveDonor, on the left, you can export your donors into a spreadsheet, add columns for all the mandatory fields that are required for Section 18A, and then you would need to send out a form, like a Google form, with all the mandatory fields in place, and then save those responses into an Excel sheet. So this works. My honest assessment is this works, if you have a handful of donors, but past that, you'll start to feel it. Either which way, you'll know what's missing, right? But you need to get all of your donors' information in place before you can even, issue valid SARS compliant Section 18A and do your IT3D submission. So now, let me show you what this looks like and what we've built for you. You obviously can't fix what you can't see. So if you'd rather not maintain a spreadsheet by hand, this is how we handle the same problem in ActiveDonor. We allow you to easily identify donors who may have donated in a particular tax year. And more importantly, what's missing from their records. So those ticks and crosses that you see, they make the gaps very obvious at a glance. So at an instant, I can see so-and-so is missing an ID number, or I don't have their full address. And more importantly, we can send an email update to the donors directly within the system. So the old way is you would email them one by one, get each person's information, and validate them, make sure it's correct, and then obviously save it into your Excel file or your database. And now we've integrated that into one cohesive platform. So when a donor enters their tax reference number, we check if the format is correct, and before it even hits your system. There's no back and forth fixing typos or incorrect data that slips through. I'll pass it over to Raisa, who's our customer success team, and she will go through how to identify gaps in your donor database and send out bulk information requests at scale to all your donor database. Raisa?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Zahir. I'm going to share my screen now. Give me a second. Quickly, before I get started with my demo, there's a question in chat from Bianca. I just want to confirm that it is both. It can be either or. It can be the physical address or the postal address. Both are accepted. Okay. I just want to confirm if you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Awesome. Okay, so like Zahir mentioned on ActiveDonor, we do have a feature that will allow you to identify all of your donors with missing information or invalid information. So you would head over to reports and then scroll down to tax and compliance, and then we can go to this report called incomplete profiles. Now, when I open this up, this will show you a full list of all of your donors with missing information, but we can focus on our current financial year. So let's say Section 18A required, yes, so we'll use the filters here. And then let's go to our specific tax year and click on apply filters. Now this will bring it down to 14 donors with some missing information. And you can see here, it's easily identifiable. Now, if you've got it on hand, you can simply click on the cross and fill it in, and then update all of the Section 18As with the information. Alternatively, you can individually send out the form to your donors, or you can simply request in bulk from all of your donors. So if I click here, this will send out to all of your donors with missing information for that period. So it will be a personalized email that you can send to your donors. You can also send a test to yourself as well and preview what the email would look like. Now, if you'd like to do it individually for your donors, let me just open this up for you. This is what that form would look like. So it will have your custom branding up at the top as well as your contact information, and the donor can come in and fill out their information. So you can see it is pre-populated with the donor's first and last name, but they will have to update all of their other information. We don't share any other personal details here. And then the good thing about this form is that it's got the built-in validation checks. So you can rest assured that the ID number will be valid, the income tax number will be valid. I know a lot of our nonprofits do have issues with companies or sometimes individuals providing VAT numbers instead of income tax numbers or PAYE numbers and so on. So this form will double check to make sure it's correct. It will let the donor know that if anything is invalid and ask them to correct it before they can submit it to you. Now, once they submit this, you will receive a notification via email to let you know that it has been filled in. You can also head over to your donors page in ActiveDonor, and you're able to see your donor updates here at the top. So you'll see all of the donors that have filled it out. You can view their submissions or save it. You can also select all and save it in bulk. And you're also able to keep track of all of the outstanding requests. So here, for example, I've sent this out to these 3 donors. It's still active. However, these ones have expired. They haven't filled it in. You can refresh this if you'd like to from here. All right, I'm going to hand over back to Zahir now.
Thank you, Raisa. Thank you, Raisa. So just a quick word of caution here. The most common mistake that we see nonprofits try to do this manually, especially so close to the deadline. If you're doing it manually, it usually takes 2 to 4 weeks of back and forth. And donors obviously don't reply on time. Life happens, they kind of forget. Or sometimes they do reply with the wrong information. And so if you're sitting watching this in mid-May, you need to start right away. So ideally, use the bulk information request forms that we have on the system to get the information into your system as quickly as possible. It's just difficult to do it manually. So let's go into Act 2. Now that your data is in shape, you now need to issue SARS compliant tax certificates. And this is where sometimes things can get tedious if you are also doing this manually. So we'll look at three things. We'll look at bulk issuance. We'll look at special cases for goods in kind and getting the certificates to your donors after you've issued them. All right. Just a bit of quick maths. If you've got, let's just say 500 donors and each 18A takes you, say, 5 minutes to create, that's about 42 hours of work. That's more than a full week for one person doing nothing else. And that's a small operation. Some of our larger clients are issuing more than 5,000 certificates each season. So at 5 minutes, that's 400 hours. There's maybe 2 or 3 months worth of full-time work for a person. One at a time won't cut it. Because of that, we've built new tools, which I will show you now, which we're quite excited to show you. But before that, if you're doing this manually, this is what you would have had to do. You'd have had to get yourself a Section 18A template, maybe Word document or Google Docs, link that to your spreadsheet, and then mail merge them into PDFs. And you'd be doing the sequential numbering manually one by one, saving each file by hand, one by one. For goods in kind, you'd need to build a one-page checklist that captures all the mandatory fields of the description of property, the deemed deduction amount, and maybe any supporting documents. You would obviously need to manage a lot of paperwork, a lot of spreadsheets, and it's quite tedious to do it at scale. Because of that, what we've built is 2 new tools to issue Section 18As in bulk. If your donations are already in ActiveDonor, you can bulk issue Section 18As in one go. There's no templates, no spreadsheets. And if you're coming from another system and you have historical data, say, sitting in spreadsheets, we've built a new Excel importer that brings this all new. All of this is brand new, and we're quite excited to show how this works. For in-kind donations, we've also built structured fields that capture the mandatory fields for SARS, so you don't accidentally miss them. And you can also attach your supporting documents directly to any certificate or any receipt or even the donor's profile. This is, for example, for invoices, you may have proof of payments, valuations, everything stays in one place. And lastly, sending hundreds of emails one by one is a bit of a schlep. So, sometimes your email bounces that's quite common, especially if you have donor data that's quite old. You might have old email addresses on your system. And if you don't know which emails bounced, you wouldn't know which donors didn't get their tax certificates. So we've built a new bulk email tool that sends out personalized emails to each donor in batches and then tracks the delivery of their receipt or Section 18A certificate for each one. You can basically just see at a glance which one got through and which one needs a fresh email address. All right, Raisa, could you take us through the 3 or 4 sections that we've just shown here? Raisa, I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. Yep, I'm sharing my screen now. You should be able to see it shortly. Give me a second. Here we go. All right, can you guys see it? You should be seeing our Section 18A importer.
Yes, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to take you through the process of what it would look like as a new client first. So as a new client, we would offer this onboarding service to you in which you can import all of your Section 18A data. So we've got a template that you can use. We usually share it with you before you get started to populate, or you can download it here in ActiveDonor. So you would simply, once it's ready, you would simply choose your file. I've got one here. There we go. And then you would click on upload. Here it will show you what data is in your file. You can just double check to make sure that all of the columns are matched correctly. And if all is in order, you can simply click on import. It will take a few seconds for the import to complete, but you're able to view the progress here. So let me just refresh this. And you can see it's successfully imported 4 of my donors. I can download my results here, and I can roll back if I've made a mistake. Okay, next I'll go into the Section 18A report. So this is one of our new reports as well. If I go down here to reports and then tax and compliance, let's go to issue Section 18As. Right, so here this will show you all of your donors who require Section 18As, or all of the donation receipts that you've captured that you haven't issued certificates for. So you can see here I've got this donor. He requires a Section 18A for all of his donations. And then down here, these are for individual donations. So these are donors who have once-off donations and require Section 18As for those. So you would simply come in here. You can filter by tax year. You can look at the ones that are ready to issue. You can also see ones with missing information, or you can view all of them. So let's just select a few. So let's select this one, and let's say these two to issue, and you simply click on issue Section 18As here. Now this will process, but you can see here as well, I've done one previously, and you can see all of them have been issued and 2 were skipped. If I go into view this, you're able to see the 2 that were successfully issued and generated. And if I go into the skipped ones, you can see here a tax number is required, so that's missing. And this one has failed the validation check. You can click here to edit and update your donor and then reissue the Section 18A. Okay, next, let's go into bulk emailing. So we'll go back to the reports page. Now, once you've issued all of your Section 18As, you can bulk email this to your donors by going to bulk emails here at the bottom. So this will show you a full list of all of the Section 18As that you've issued. And then you can select all if you'd like to, and then simply click on send 20 Section 18As. Let's filter this down. So let me just do a test and email it to info ActiveDonor. So I can select all of them here and then click on send. It will have a personalized email as I previously showed you. And then you simply click on send. So you can bulk email, you can bulk issue your Section 18As now and bulk email your Section 18A certificates to all of your donors. Right. Next, I'm going to go into, Zahir mentioned as well, issuing Section 18As for goods in kind donations. So another way in which you can issue your Section 18As is by simply going into the donor profile. We can go to receipts. So we've got this donor. You can see we've captured all of his donation receipts throughout the year, all of his donations, and you can see it says requested here. So what we can do is we can select the year 2026. It will automatically select all of the donation receipts for that period. All of his information is pulled through here. And you can see here's a new section. We've got to fill in the description. So I'm going to say food hampers. And then here you can select the condition. So in this case, this would be the condition of the goods. Whether it's new, used, refurbished, and so on, you'd have to use your discretion for this. But in this case, I'm going to say new. And then you can add in valued as. So this would be the cost to the donor since he's provided us with an invoice for these goods in kind donations. Once you're done with this, you can click on issue batch Section 18A. There we go. We've generated one certificate for all of his donations for that period of time. And if you scroll a bit further down, you can also see a description of all of the goods as they were added in the donation receipts and all of the amounts and so on. Now, if you'd like to attach any supporting documents for that section, for this particular Section 18A, you can do so on the left-hand side here. So let's click here. I've got an invoice. And let's say I want to add in proof of payment also. Okay, so add in the invoice. It's uploaded and it's stored here. Now you don't have to do this. It's not required by SARS to have an invoice. However, we do recommend having it for your records. It's good to have this on file so you're able to prove it. All right, so I'm going to hand over back to Zahir and he'll go through Act 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Raisa. I should be back on. Thank you, Raisa. So as you can see, it's quite quick and easy now with the bulk tools. You can issue multiple certificates in one go, issue SARS compliant certificates with regards to goods in kind. And obviously, there's a lot of time savings here. I just want to share the recent feedback from Solvi. She's one of our customers that she shared after using some of our new tools here. I'll let you read through it. And, you know, a lot of people are doing this manually, which often takes you days or even weeks. And now something like this can take you a single afternoon. And I sincerely want to express my gratitude to Solvi. She's been instrumental in giving us a lot of valuable feedback. I hope she's on the webinar. She's been very, very helpful with regards to her feedback on some of these new features. Thank you, Solvi, David, Imran, and everyone else that's been giving us feedback along the way. Right. As you can see, moving to ActiveDonor was definitely one of the best decisions for their organization. And we work hand in hand with our nonprofits to make sure that our system works for the kind of work that you're doing. So one of the key mistakes that we've identified when issuing receipts or Section 18As is, for example, for your Section 18As do not carry the new mandatory fields, or in some cases, you might issue an 18A for projects that do not apply. For example, sponsorships, auction items, event raffle tickets, or even services rendered. Another big issue that we see is in-kind certificates without any descriptions, right? So you need to have the valid description and valuation of the in-kind donation, which is from the 1st of March. And also, it goes to say that last year or previous year's Section 18A templates may not carry all of the mandatory fields. So make sure that you are using something that's current and complies with SARS latest regulations. Right. Each of these red flags can get your donor's tax deduction flagged or revoked. Right. Just a quick check-in with Arnold. Do we have any questions? Maybe we are halfway. Maybe we've covered quite a few things. Maybe we can answer a few quick questions. If you've dropped them in the chat, Arnold, maybe you can pick a couple and we could answer now.
Sure. Yeah, there are a couple of questions here. So I just want to open them quickly now. The first one is we haven't issued any Section 8, any 18A certificates for a long time. Must we still do the IT3 forms?
Yes, that is, you still need to do an IT3D declaration. In this case, it's called a nil return or a null submission, just to inform SARS that you actually haven't issued any Section 18As. So you would have to do one for each period, whether it's the IT3D has to be done twice a year. So it's the May one is the year end one, and then you've got the October one, which is the half year. And even if you haven't issued 18As in October or for the whole year, you would need to do a nil submission. That can be done via ActiveDonor, or it can be done on e-filing as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So a couple of, I see ActiveDonor has made all this so easy for 9 years. I had to do all this, I had ActiveDonor has made all this so easy. For 9 years, I had to do all this manually. So that's, hands up to you. Can donors' passport numbers be used on Section 18A? This is Carmen Rocha.
Yes, they can, but only for donors that are not South African. So if you have a donor from the UK or USA or any other country that's outside of South Africa, yes, you can use their passport, but you have to include the country of issue as well as their date of birth.
And sorry, I just want to add in as well, they have to have a South African income tax number to issue.
Oh, yes.
the Section
Thank you,
18A.
Raisa. Thank you, Raisa. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Sorry, just going through all the questions. So they're coming
We
so
can just pick a
quick
few,
and
and then
fast.
we can do a full Q&A at the end. Just one more,
Okay.
maybe.
So Louise Beatty, and welcome, Louise. I have less than 20 donors. Is there a scaling cost?
For ActiveDonor, yes, we have a plan. We can discuss that towards the end, but it's for the 0 to 500. There's one fixed plan, and most of our organizations are on that plan there. Whether you have 5 donors or 50 donors or up to 500 donors, you can get onto that plan.
Okay. And Keenan Roberts, is the bulk email available on all packages or only on certain packages? I don't know if you can also include it on your towards the end, or do you want to take it now?
It's the bulk email is available on all the packages, so we don't charge for additional features like that. However, the bulk email is only for transactional email, which is your receipts, Section 18A donor information requests. It's not marketing. So we'll get to that later.
Okay. Anele Erasmus, we're currently using Salesforce for donor management. Can ActiveDonor be a replacement?
Yes, we have migrated many organizations from Salesforce, so we can help you export your data from there and bring it into ActiveDonor. We've got a lot of experience with that.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Zahir. From Mother Touch, where do we find a copy of mandatory form for in-kind donations? I don't know if you have an answer on that one.
Maybe just drop us an email and drop me an email. We'll leave it at the end, and maybe I can give you an example that you can use and customize for your records.
Okay. All right. So quick one from AB before you proceed, Zahir. Why do some IT3D submissions say correction? This is from AB.
So a correction would be when you have done a submission and you need to make a change to it. That would be a correction. So you have 3 types of submissions. You have the new submission when you're sending fresh data through to SARS. Then you have the correction where you're updating some records. And then you have the deletion, which is deleting records.
I know we'll also open, if you want to come off mute, we'll also open that towards the end. From FCD partners, is there an easier process instead of capturing the receipts manually?
We do have importers to bring in data from, for example, your bank statements or from Excel files, and then you can obviously use our capture forms, donor capture forms to bring in the receipt capture forms to bring in your receipts. But yeah, that's the bulk of our capturing happens that way. And usually, somebody uploads an Excel file with all their receipts, and then it gets captured into ActiveDonor. So should we continue to the?
Yeah, maybe just one last question.
Okay,
This is
go
from
for it.
Joe from Numeric. We have many international donors who do not receive Section 18A certificates. Can we use the system to record the donation even though we are not providing certificates, or is the system only for Section 18A certificates?
Now you can use. We have a lot of organizations that use our system for your daily receipting, donor management, tagging your donors, identifying who's given how much. We've actually, as you've seen, we've got a fresh reports page that has a whole lot of new reports. So all of those tools are useful, even if you do not issue Section 18As.
Awesome. Natasha Kotse, I see your hand, but will come, in the next round of questions. We'll also give you option to go off mute and also raise your question. Please proceed, Zahir.
All right. Yeah. So are you still seeing my screen? Can I carry on?
I can see
Yep, we can see
submitting
it.
to SARS.
All right, super.
Yes.
So now that your data is ready, and by the way, Joe, Section 18A and the IT3D is just one part of what ActiveDonor does. There's a whole lot of other things. So now that your data is ready, and you've issued your Section 18A certificates, and you've emailed them to your donors, now is the actual reason that most of you are here, is getting your data through to SARS. So let's see what that process typically entails. A quick explainer for anyone new to this, IT3D is just your structured data. It can either be a file or it can be done via e-filing, submitted to SARS twice a year. And this summarizes every Section 18A certificate that you issue during the tax year. It's in a very specific format, and SARS rejects anything that's even slightly off. And for this period, the submission is due on the 31st of May, every year basically, on the last day of May. Right. And why does SARS care so much about this format? It's because they actually use this data. They use it to pre-fill the donor's tax returns with the deductions that you report. And they also cross-check what donors claim against what you submitted. So obviously a mismatch could potentially trigger a query. They use this to detect fraudulent claims and also verify PBO's compliance. Just like the letter I showed you in the beginning, that's a use case in which SARS would have checked if you've submitted your IT3D and verify your compliance. So getting this right matters a lot. A quick context on ActiveDonor. We've been submitting IT3D since 2024, which was the first submission period. And we've done, I think, well over 100,000 Section 18A certificates for 300, close to 400 PBOs. And along the way, we've actually learned a lot of things. Some things were easy to learn and some the hard way. Number one challenge is always making sure you've got the correct information, which is what I stressed in Act 1. Second biggest headache we hear from nonprofits is, the challenges with regards to e-filing and getting on board. I'll show you what that process would look like typically if you're going by the e-filing process. And then obviously it's quite a technical exercise. The challenge is huge because the submission is more of an IT exercise than actual real nonprofit work. So we'll get through to what it would look like if you're going through it yourself via HTTPS or the e-filing process. This is the typical workflow for a manual SARS process end to end. From enrollment to the successful submission, you've got to enroll a business admin, technical user, set up your HTTPS gateway, generate the actual submission file, which is just another process on its own. And then obviously once you submit it, you may have errors or corrections, and then you need to resubmit that. A lot of nonprofits spend a lot of time navigating this process. It's quite complex, and you may lose weeks on this process before you even submit a single record. And then you've got to do this obviously twice a year. Fortunately, ActiveDonor clients can skip all of this and go straight to submitting their details. Right? And whether you use ActiveDonor or anything else, here's what a good submission process should look like. Right? You need to be able to catch errors before they hit SARS. You need to be able to validate all your information locally first. ActiveDonor does that for you. ActiveDonor also obviously submits straight to SARS, so there's no need to manually generate the file or go into e-filing and capture all of those details. You get real-time response directly from SARS coming into your ActiveDonor account, whether it's a success. And sometimes, very rarely now, we don't have any rejections anymore. And you have a full audit trail of your submissions. So you can see exactly a submission that you did in 2025, 2024, whichever period, and all of the certificates that were submitted in that batch. So you can see that in your account. Raisa will show us how that works. If your current setup is, manually generating the files and, going through the whole process, you're either going to miss the deadline or you'll end up submitting quite late. Right? The question that stops most people from submitting in the first place is, what if something goes wrong? And life happens, things go wrong. So either SARS rejects your submission, which is very rare with ActiveDonor now. I think for the current period, we've submitted a few thousand 18As and we've had 0 rejections thus far. Or if you spot an error after the fact that you've already submitted, and with ActiveDonor, both of these are very easily fixable, right? So Raisa, let's just walk through the ActiveDonor workflow, how to do the submission, and how to view your submission status, all of that, please.
Sure, I'm going to share my screen now and let's go through it. This is my favorite part because it's so easy and so quick. Give me a second. You should be able to see my screen now.
Yes.
Right,
Eco
awesome.
Africa Foundation. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, Arnold. So once you're done issuing all of your Section 18As, you've got all of the information and you've corrected all of the information in ActiveDonor. When it comes time for submission, all you need to do is click on reports and then go over to your tax and compliance, and then go to IT3D submissions. From here, you'll see a full list of your Section 18As for that period. By default, we automatically select the most recent financial year, but as you can see, you can submit for your previous financial years as well. So in this case, let's focus on the current submission period. You can see here we've got another validation check that will go through. So this will show you that will run to make sure that everything is compliant. And if it isn't compliant, this is how it will show up. So you can click on edit here and it will show you exactly why it's non-compliant. So in this case, this income tax number is correct. It's failed a validation check. Usually what we've noticed is that it could be a typo or maybe it's missing a 0 in the front, but you'll have to confirm with your donor before you can do this. There was a question in chat asking what tax number is it? It is the income tax number for individual donors as well as companies and trusts. So it's an income tax number for all of them, not a VAT number or PAYE. Right, so you would make the correction there, but once you're ready, you can simply click on select all. If you do have any that are invalid, it won't let you select those, which means you can come back and correct those and then submit it to SARS. So you don't have to delay your submission while you're waiting for information. You can just select all of the compliant ones and simply click on submit to SARS. Now, once you click this, it takes about 5 to 10 minutes for SARS to get back to you, but you can track your submission here. We do send you email updates as well to let you know that your submission has gone through, and we do let you know whether or not it has been successful. So you can see here, you've got a full audit log of all of your submissions, as well as the date and time, whether or not they have been successful or not. And if you go into the actual submission, you're able to see all of the certificates included. So you can see in this case, I've got 2 that are accepted. If there were any warnings, they would appear here, but I've got one that's rejected. So let's go and check this out. Here we go. So this donor, the postal code was added in incorrectly. So you can see it contains spaces that was rejected by SARS. If I click and open up the Section 18A, you can see it's going to give me the error here. And if I click on edit, here we go, I'll have to correct it here. So you would simply just make the correction, save the certificate, and then all you would need to do is head over back to your reports and resubmit this to SARS. So that's how you would do your corrections. You would go back to your Section 18A issued page and submit it from here. And then if there's a situation where, let's say, for example, you've done your submission, it's about a month or 2 after your submission period has already closed, and some donor comes back to you and says, hey, you issue the Section 18A in my personal name. I need it in my company name. Please, can you sort it out? So it's a bit of a headache, but you can sort it out. So you would just go into the IT3D submissions page. You would find that particular donor. So let's say it's this donor, Kevin James. We would open up that Section 18A. You can see it has already been submitted to SARS. So what I would need to do is scroll all the way to the bottom, click on revoke, and enter a reason. So here you would say, for example, incorrect details, and then click on revoke. Now, once you revoke this Section 18A, it will immediately ask you to notify SARS of the revocation. Now, if you only have one Section 18A that needs to be revoked or changed, you can submit this immediately. If you have multiple, I would suggest going through each of them and revoking them and then notifying SARS. But don't make any changes to your, don't reissue the Section 18A before you've done this. So let's say you've just got this one, you click on submit to SARS, or you can click on later and then go back to your reports here. Under IT3D submissions, you'll be able to see your Section 18As revoked. And then you can select all of them and submit to SARS and notify SARS of the revocation. So I'm just going to open this up. Once you're done with that, you can go back to your Section 18A, open up that particular receipt, click on edit, make the changes that you need to make here. And then you're able to reissue the Section 18A and then submit that to SARS. All right, so that's about it from my side with regards to your IT3D submissions. I'm going to hand over back to Zahir now.
Thank you, Raisa. That was actually a pleasure to see. It is actually quite easy how we made it. And for those that have been doing this manually, or you've at least tried to give it a bash, you know the challenge is it's quite real. Just lastly, a word of caution, and we see this every year. People hold off submitting because they want everything to be perfect first. But life happens. Don't delay the process, especially if you're doing this manually. You've got to get started immediately. It's already middle of May. Make sure you've got your donor information ready. If you're doing this via e-filing, get onboarded ASAP. Don't wait for your data to be 100% perfect. You might just wait forever. So start the process early. If you've got a lot of certificates, or if you just want to do it the easy way, you can come through. We'll import your data into ActiveDonor. We'll onboard you, and you can submit, in a couple of clicks, like what Raisa showed us earlier. And it's as easy as that. I wish it was a long process. It's just that easy. So with that, we can go into a Q&A. Arnold?
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Zahir. We've got plenty of questions. Renee, Jeanette, Candice, Monet, Ellen, Ridwan, Sandy, Jeanette again, and also Ashraf. So I've got a couple of questions. Maybe if Raisa, you can start maybe answering some of those questions. But I know, Monet, you have a long question, and I don't want to read it. Do you mind if you can go off mute if you're still on the call? If you can raise your hand so that I can give you access to go off mute. Okay, Monet, I see the hand, so let me just go up so I can give you. Okay, okay, might take time now to look for you, Monet. Okay, here we go. So I see you. Let me give you so that you can go off mute. So allow. Please go ahead, Monet. You can unmute Monet. Okay, while Monet is unmuting, we've got also, or I don't know, you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to assist me here. Is it or Somaya? Maybe just go off mute and also say just your name. I think I'm butchering your name here. Please go off mute.
I think while we're waiting for, oh no, there we go. Someone's off mute.
Okay, yeah, please go ahead. Is it or how do you say your name? Sorry. Please go ahead. Okay. Let me also open up Moya Khabo. Please go ahead, Moya Khabo. Moya Khabo. Mutsecha. If you can also unmute yourself.
Hello.
Please go
Hi.
ahead. Yes, yes.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. So my question was around, when the tax certificates come back as rejected from the IT3 submission, and you've got your tax number right, you've got your ID, and it always falls on the address side. It's like SARS themselves have not figured out what they want there, because sometimes when you submit it, it looks like the other one, the one goes through and the one doesn't go through, and it's like a comma or something. Have you guys figured out a way? Because I heard in one of your statements saying you've submitted over 1,000 and you didn't get any rejections.
So yes, we have strict validation checks in place for the addresses. We have noticed that sometimes people mistakenly add in a leading space, which causes an issue, or sometimes special characters or too many characters. So they make address line 1 too long, in which case it does get rejected. But we have had Zahir and the rest of our development team have built in strict validation checks around the addresses. So no, we don't have any issues with the addresses anymore.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Oh. All right, Crystal Kloppers, with regards to in-kind donations, that is second-hand clothing, toiletries, etc., from the donation drives. Does this need to be captured, and can this be audited? This is from Crystal Kloppers or Kloppers.
I'm not sure about that. So here from donation drives.
If you are issuing Section 18As, then yes, it has to be captured. Obviously, you have to have an audit trail for that. So you would need to capture it if you are issuing a Section 18A for that.
But if it's anonymous donors, then no, you don't need to.
No, if it's anonymous, obviously you cannot issue an 18A to an anonymous donor. So obviously that wouldn't apply.
Okay. And another question from Lo. Are the donor amounts / dates of donations uploaded into ActiveDonor automatically, for example, bank account integration, accounting system integration, or manually, or some other way?
So you can capture them manually, or you can import an Excel or CSV file from your bank statement, for example, or from Xero, or from an accounting package like QuickBooks. We have those formats into our system, so you can just pull straight from your bank statement if you want to do them.
So I know. Okay, thanks, Zahir. I know we only have 3 minutes, but we'll try to go through all the questions so that your questions get answered. So, Eli Oliver, will this submission also include the one used for the first 6 months?
If you have submitted 18As for that period, then those would not be included in the as part of this one. You would only need to submit what you haven't sent through to SARS for the 2025-2026 year.
So, for example, if a donor were donated in the first 6 months, but they requested the Section 18A after that submission period closes, then you would do their submission now in May.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. And from Yashin, does in-kind donations cater for services rendered by a professional, e.g., for example, a doctor?
We see that often. No, the answer is no. The answer is strictly no. So I can't come and paint your house and ask for a Section 18A certificate.
Okay. All right. Cool. So let me just
quick one.
go to chat. So,
I just want to clarify something I saw on the chat.
Okay.
We don't use e-filing or HTTPS. You don't need any of those processes. We have a direct connection into SARS from ActiveDonor. So when you press submit, Raisa didn't show that on her side because we are actually that's a live account. So and this is just tested data. So when you press submit, it goes through to SARS. And I think the wait time is about 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, you get a response from SARS.
Awesome. Dai, I see you've got a hand up.
Yeah, I see hundreds of messages and questions in the chat and in the Q&A. Perhaps you guys could put an email address in the chat or your contact details so that it's easily accessible, and then people can either WhatsApp or send you the messages, because I don't think we're going to have time to answer them all, and I don't want our attendees to think that their questions aren't important. So I think maybe give them an alternate way of asking their questions, if that's okay with you guys.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. I've also allowed, so Monet, I've just please unmute on your side, and also Bongiwe and Mohammed Lahir, if you can also unmute your side and then raise your question, please.
Hi, this is Bongiwe from Bafeni Trust. So last year we submitted the first batch of the IT3Ds manually using e-filing on August, and when we were doing it, it raised 2 donors, like their amounts were doubled, so our declaration amounts was not the same as the ones that we had on our Excel. So we recently moved to ActiveDonor. So I wanted to know that when we are submitting for the annual one, will that mistake be corrected or not? Because we tried to fix it, but it couldn't, like the amounts, they were not going through the same. So I just want to find out if maybe, like, because we're now using ActiveDonor, so when we are doing it now, is it going to be corrected or not?
I would actually need to see what you submitted previously. And if it was accepted by SARS, then we can assist you with the correction. But if it wasn't accepted, then you would need to submit that.
Okay.
If it was accepted, then obviously this is kind of a special case, so we need to see and review your data and identify what the cause was, and then maybe we can take it from there. So maybe after the email, you've got our email addresses, Bongiwe, you can just drop us an email. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, cool. Mohammed, please go ahead. I see your hand up. Please go ahead. Please please go off mute. Please unmute. All right. Well, okay. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead, Mohammed.
Yeah, while we're waiting for Mohammed, there's another question in chat.
Sure.
Do we have to complete an IT3D for
I'm
all
off mute.
donations? Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Please go ahead.
Yeah, just a very quick
Mohammed.
question. We're not trying to submit a nil return for one of our PPO companies. When we did it on e-filing, it's not allowing us to submit a nil return. Is it possible? Because I know per compliance, we have to submit a return to SARS notifying them that we haven't issued any Section 18As. But when we're going to e-filing, trying to submit a nil return is not allowing us to do so.
Mohammed, I think that you'd have to sort of take up with SARS directly. It could be something on your profile that could be locking you from doing that, preventing you from doing that, or it could be a number of sort of factors. So I obviously can't sort of give you an outright answer on that, but I think maybe you'd need to engage with SARS to see what the challenge is.
Okay,
and
so,
obviously,
but basically
yeah.
in principle, okay, but basically in principle, you can submit a nil return.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So okay. So
Yes.
then let us discuss it with SARS. Thanks very much.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks, Mohammed. There's a question from Ridwan here. Ridwan is asking, what measures have been made for protection of data or databases?
So we do have a very comprehensive security policy on our website. You can go to activedonor.com/security and also activedonor.com/privacy. I can't seem to leave any links on the chat. Let me just try again. I could have left the links. Also, people asking about the privacy policy, security. In terms of, yes, thank you, Luis. In terms of security, we have every sort of organization has their own dedicated database. We are hosted in South Africa, in Cape Town, using very secure Amazon AWS infrastructure. We use a VPN to connect between databases and applications. So it's quite rigorous, and the security page on our website, as well as the privacy page, details all of that.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ridwan. So for organizations that would like to get in touch with us, here are our details. You can get in touch, or if you have any questions regarding any of our services, please get in touch with us. I don't know, maybe Raisa, if there's any other question that you can see there. There was a question from Ronée.
Yeah, I think that was about the income tax numbers. Yeah. Or was it a different question?
Read one. No,
Okay.
I'm just checking now. Sorry, I just want to go back to my question.
There's another question I wanted to answer as well.
Over time, but yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
From Dassen. Do we have to complete an IT3D for all donations or just the ones we issue Section 18As for? Yes, it would be an IT3D submission only for the Section 18A submitted, not all of your donations. Right. So it's only for the Section 18As that you submitted for that particular period.
Oh, that's coming up. Oh, sorry.
No, it's coming up already. It because of already.
Okay, so maybe let's do this. So Zahir, as we wrap up, for organizations that have attended today's webinar, can you please offer, when we send a wrap-up email, can you also offer them a good discount?
I'm on mute. Sorry, I was on mute there. Yes, of course, we can arrange a discount for your Pambano customers that are coming through, and you can send that through. Are you going to be sending through the slides or the meeting recording? Because there's a lot of people asking for that as well.
Yes,
so along with that,
we're going to share we're going to share the recording and the presentation. So if we again from us, because all these organizations, they always get discounts on our programs. So it would be nice also if you can offer a good discount to our organizations as well.
Will the contact details be sent out in the email? Everybody's asking how they can reach you. It might be a good idea to pop the email address in the chat quickly.
I can't drop an email. I can't sort of type in the chat. For some reason, it's disabled for me. Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe Raisa or somebody else.
No, it's disabled on
no,
my
don't
side.
worry.
I'm trying to respond.
We'll respond to
we'll add the details on the wrap-up email. Yeah.
No problem. I just want to take
just again last. Okay. Go ahead, Raisa.
Yes,
Sorry.
I just want to take one last question from Jolan. Is it too late to use ActiveDonor for my 2026 submission? No, it's not. You can reach out to us and we'll be able to import your data for you and get you submitted before the deadline.
And we can also do the 2025 and 2024. So it's obviously at no additional cost. Just make sure you're fully compliant.
Awesome. All right. Look, thank you. Thanks so much, Zahir, Raisa as well. For organizations that are in Elliot, I've not been there, but if you are in Elliotdale or you know any organizations in the Elliotdale area in the Eastern Cape, we will host our NPO training session in Elliotdale next week, Thursday. And for organizations in the Western Cape, those that are closer to Hermanus, we'll be hosting organization in Hermanus, and also on that's going to be on the 2nd of June, and on the 4th of June, we'll be in the Western Cape, in Fishhook. So if you are in the Western Cape, please join our session in person, and we'll also plan other webinars as well. So, Raisa, do you have any last words before we go off?
Nothing from my side. Thank you guys so much. As always, it's a pleasure to do these webinars with you. And thanks to everyone for taking the time to meet with us this morning.
Awesome. Thank you. Zahir?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Arnold, Dai, and team for hosting us. It's been a pleasure to do this, and all the best with your submissions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Lishan, I see your question. We're in the Western Cape, so we'll be in Hermanus on the 2nd of June, and on the 4th of June we'll be in Force with you the details where we're gonna be for in-person session. We won't be with Zahir. It will be more focused on the civic AI and on the digital technologies. So it will be great if you are closer to both areas. Please come through. If we have a session on Friday, the 5th of June, we'll also analyzing the venue in the Western Cape, and we'll be able to share those as well. So thanks again for joining our webinar today, and we're going to share all the recordings, we're going to share all the presentations, all the slides, and of course, we'll also wait for that discount from Zahir as well, so that you can also benefit instead of paying what ActiveDonor is charging directly. So again, Zahir, Raisa, it's a pleasure hosting you. So thanks so much for this session today, and for all the NPOs that have joined today. We appreciate your support, and we're going to see you soon in our next webinar. So thanks so much, and please be safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.